Omarii Sanders is one of the top-ranked defenders in 2027. We're going to watch him right now. 6'3.5", 210 pounds from Franklin Road Academy in Nashville, Tennessee. You guys let me know what you think about him. First thing that I noticed with Omarii Sanders was something that we saw on that first graphic. Before we even turn on the film, 6'3.5", we're going to be talking about a long linebacker prospect. When we actually turn on the film, he's actually even longer than 6'3.5", right? Really like this kid's arm length. I think we'd be talking about this dude in close to the 85 to 95 percentile for linebackers arm length. We're not going to see a whole lot of him in an off-ball linebacker role. A lot of reps we're going to see for Omarii Sanders is coming a lot further away from the line of scrimmage than I think we see him at the next level. But what it means for us is that I think we get a better read of the athleticism because he's playing a lot of free safety. Really like this kid's long speed. We're going to see the explosiveness time and time again. And, this is what's going to make Omarii Sanders a really good linebacker at the next level. He comes downhill so easily. And then after that, he also has the sideline-to-sideline speed to really have a full field range with him. We're going to see a lot of him at free safety, and we're going to see a lot of him in the pass drops, and I really am sold on this kid's hip flexibility, right? We're not going to see a lot of him at the line of scrimmage, but this is something I'll talk about. I want to see him do a bit more of this at the next level, but this kid is really flexible for 6'3.5". We see a lot of 6'3.5" sophomores. It's not the first time we've ever seen that, but very often with them, they're a bit souped up, and they have a lot of trouble turning the corners. They have a lot of trouble getting into their pass drops. This kid is so built, but he also doesn't move like he's 6'3.5". He moves like he's a lot skinnier than that, which is a good thing. Look at this coming downhill. They're trying to double team this end here, and they just can't even get a hand on him, right? If it was flag and Omarii Sanders was out of the play, he would have still made that tackle. So really like the athletic traits that he brings, plus the frame. The only conversation is going to be, what exactly is this dude at the next level? To me, this is a guy that plays a lot of off-ball linebacker. If we're bringing him into a 3-4 defense, this kid is an outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme all day. This is one of the higher-end outside linebackers in a 3-4 scheme. This kid can pass drop. He can pass rush also. We don't see it in high school, but I can tell you this kid's got the traits that you look for in a top-end pass rusher. Definitely has the length to compete there, has the first step, and definitely has the flexibility. So we're not going to see a lot of this in high school. It's unfortunate, but whatever scheme the defense is running, it's easy for me to say I wish we saw more of him getting after the quarterback in the high school level, but it's kind of hard for me to do that when I'm not the coach. I'm not aware of who this team has on their roster, but I think that's something that you can look at him right now, playing a lot of free safety and just kind of try to simulate him into a pass rushing situation. And all I'm trying to say is this kid has the traits to get after the quarterback at the next level. We're just not going to see it. And I'm not even sure if we're going to see it at all his junior or senior year just because of the role he's being asked to play. But, at some point in time, I can tell you this kid's going to be getting after the quarterback. It's just might have to be at the college football level, but he has the traits to do that. So I think this is a dude that you play in that off-ball linebacker role. It depends on the defense you bring him into, of course, but I think this is a guy that's going to be coveted by, every team, regardless of what kind of defense you're running. But this is the kind of guy that I would play at off-ball linebacker. Let him read, let him fly around, let him run and hit, and then every now and then we're going to put him on the outside, on the defensive line and just let him get after the quarterback because I think he's just got the traits to do that. Straight up, that's really what I want to see out of him going forward. But this kid's a really good football player already, right? He's got the God-given 6'3.5" to 210. That's God-given, and then he also has the the football awareness. Saw how easy his hips were, him in his zone coverages. Really looking forward to see the role that this kid plays going forward. Going to be interesting to follow because I think this kid could end up, really anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. I really do think he's a 3-level player, but to me, this is a dude that plays linebacker and then gets after the quarterback every now and then. You guys let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.